their personal security detail, Rufus Coatsworth, once heralded as the world's greatest detective. He has been brought low by circumstance.
What is happening, folks? Welcome to another episode, Nerds at Night. I am your nerd, Blake Weather. Let's get right into it. We are breaking down another murder mystery. This time it's a show.
Details matter.
Hulu's done it again. They did so great with Only Murders in the Building, and I'm so glad that they did this one because I watched Murder at the End of the World, and like it was a bit. I like lighthearted murder mysteries. I like a little comedy in my murder mystery, right? Like that's what the Agatha Christie movies are. They're a little sass and little lighthearted flair. Murder at the End of the World was good up until the last episode. So I'm really hoping that this sticks to landing. I have a lot of faith in this already based on these first two episodes. I really think I'm going to like it. But let's get right into it. We have Mandy Patinkin. He's back, man. He is back. Mandy Patinkin. Everybody out there, so a lot of y'all know who Mandy Patinkin is, but for those that don't know Mandy Patinkin, this is Mandy Patinkin.
Inconceivable. You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
See, I knew y'all know who Mandy Patinkin is because whether you've seen Princess Bride or you sent that meme of that particular clip, you know who Mandy Patinkin is. A little bit older now. He a little bit more. He aged like a fine wine, like he's like real gentlemanly now. He is Detective Rufus Coatsworth. Man, that is a mouthful right there. But they always detectives got to have funky names. It's great. I already love the first two episodes of the show. I watched an interview with the creators, the writers of the show, and they said that they were very influenced by the Agatha Christie murder mysteries. They didn't name any particular ones, but I'm already seeing a lot of those influences, right? Like when he's referred to as the greatest detective in the world. Even the costume choices in these murder mysteries, always the costumes are very like elaborate and over the top, and everybody's a character, and it comes out in their wardrobe, and it's great. But before we get into recapping the show and trying to solve the murder, that's mainly what we're going to do. We're going to attempt to try and solve who killed Keith. But before we can solve the case, we have to have our rules for solving a murder mystery. And what are those rules? It's the same rules that I give in the murder mystery breakdowns, and I'm going to give them again right now. Rule number 1, we got to have suspects. Rule number 2, we have to have some clues. Rule number 3, we have to have motive. Rule number 4, we have to have opportunity. And bonus rule number 5, as always, red herrings. We look at those rules, and what we're going to do is sort of compartmentalize information and put it into each little bucket. Where does this piece of information fit? Where does this piece of information? Where does this person fit in our rule set? Everybody's a suspect, but would they have the opportunity? Would they have the motive? Is there some, is there clues that would implicate them? And I think what this show is going to point out a lot. Everybody's hiding some secrets, and a lot of those secrets don't even point to them being the murderer. So look out for that, because I think this show is very much going to be a maze of mirrors, and it's going to disillusion you and have you believe this and that, and make you second guess things. One of my rules of when I'm watching a murder mystery and trying to attempt to solve it is usually you know who the killer is, or you can identify them before all of the rest of the information comes to you. Before the distractions, before you get too into the weeds, you're able to solve it. You're able to be like, that person looks super suspicious, but all the distractions have you thinking everybody else, so then they go off your list. Let's go through where we're at, and then we're going to go through our suspects and attempt to try and figure out this case. So where we're at, we are in a cruise ship in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Man, we on a boat, in the words of Lonely Island. We on a boat. And on this boat, we have a whole bunch of characters. We have a detective who's sort of retired. He's seen better days. We have the victim, Keith. This sort of, is he working still for the detective? Is he doing his own thing? Is he a PI? He's obviously pretending to be an investor, but we think he's an investor. And he gets offed in the first episode. And then the rest of the characters are sort of split up into, so far, like 2 camps. It's like sort of these succession, Crips and Bloods, you know what I mean? Like rich people gangs, right? We've got the Colliers and we've got the Chuns. And people in every camp sort of look suspicious. And then we have obviously the owner of the boat. And then we have a whole bunch of other people, but they're not really on our suspect list. We're going to hyper focus on the characters that they're focusing on because it's going to be one of them that's done it. Now let's go through our character list. Now that we know we got a crime committed, and then we have a whole bunch of like minor secrets, right? We've got the mom, right? Mom Collier. She's like maybe, having a little fling with the priest guy, right? As shown in the security cam. We've got the dad handing off a briefcase to a member of the Chun family. We've got the son who's sleeping with the governor. We got a lot of stuff. We have a lot of things, a lot of chess pieces already moving on the board, right? So there's all these little minor side stories. And then also in the backdrop, we have Imogene's mother dying in an explosion. Her car blew up like Casino style. Like that was the last time I'd seen a car explosion, was that movie. But exactly in that way, we are trying to solve I think we're not only trying to solve this crime, but when we solve this crime, it's going to lead to the other crime. So in my head right now, what we should be focusing on, and again, that's the big broad recap. If you want like episodes explained or something, we're not doing that here. We're gonna attempt to solve who the killers can be. And yes, I said killers because I think there's two different killers. I think there's one, a person who killed Keith. And then I think two, there is a separate party, a separate person responsible for killing Imogene's mother. Let's go through our suspects real quick. We've got the priest. We've got his son. We've got Anna. We've got Layla. We've got not Imogene, because we've seen that she wrong place, wrong time, very much like the movie The Fugitive, she's sort of Kimball in this case, and we're trying to like find evidence to support that she wasn't the one that did it, and we know that she wasn't the one that did it. We've got the Colliers, the mother, the father, the son, the lawyer. We've got the Chuns. We have there's the grandma lady, right? There's her granddaughter, the one that kind of used to date Anna. We've got another granddaughter who runs the boat and all the operations. We have what I can assume is maybe her cousin, her sister, I guess, not her sister, but maybe like her cousin or something. It's definitely another family member who works for the boat staff. She's not a great waitress, right? So we've got all these people right here, but let's start to narrow down some suspects real quick of who it could and could not be. We have to think about it like this. How was the crime committed? It was committed because somebody snuck into the bar cart, they fit in there, stayed in there while Imogene was like, sort of just rummaging around the room and causing a little prankster chaos. They stayed in there, came out, stayed in there some more, and then were taken away in the morning. That's a very smart plan, but also like, do they really be having bar carts that big? Like I felt, whatever. But yeah, that is a very intelligent plan, a very well thought out plan. And I want to point out like who would have been able to do so. I don't think the priest would have been able, the pastor, whoever he is, I don't think he would have been able to do it. Sort of an older guy. I mean, maybe he said like, I can't do it, but maybe he does yoga, maybe he could fit in there. I just don't think he did. I don't think the mom did, because at 134 they're accounted for and they are in the chapel sort of, having a little fling sesh. Could it be the dad? No, I don't think it is. He was in the hallway 134. I don't think he's going to stoop low and like fit inside of a bar cart. Like that doesn't fit his. We have the governor who was in the room with Lawrence III. Well, he wasn't in there, but she was in his room and she called for the bar cart to go to Keith's room. We also have Anna and Layla. And I think there's something a little sus right there as far as like, well, I was with her and she was with me, and yeah, she was with me and I was with her, like, but just because you have an alibi doesn't mean somebody won't lie to you. That happens all the time in Agatha Christie murder mysteries, right? Like two people are sort of in on it and one sort of covers for the other. I definitely think of Hercule Poirot Christmas. That was a great example where like there's supposed to be two brothers in a room and like one covers for the other, because one of them went missing. I don't think I don't think the grandma Chun did it, but I will give you who could have done it. The any one of her granddaughters, because you're on the boat, or if you're working, in that whole operation, how big bar carts are, where they're going to go to, the pathways, that they're going to take the bar cart, put it over here, then you could get out, not a camera over here, these things, right? So it could be one of the granddaughters, right? And there's three of them. There's there's a waitress, one that sort of is the in charge of the operations, and then the other one who was Anna's sort of former lover, fling, whatever, back in the day, and who I'm strongly suspicious of right now is the pastor's son. Where was he? Where's he been doing? He could have easily have hid in that bar cart, and his dad could have told him, hey, we need to kill Keith and, go do it. And he would have done it, at minimum. He probably saw something though. So I have again, right now I'm about at 6 suspects. I don't think that the boat owner, I don't think he did it. Who do you think did it though? I again, like, it has to be somebody that fits in the bar cart. It has somebody that could be there for quite a number of hours. It had to be somebody that's like at least familiar enough with the operations, or at least willing to like be observant to know like how operations go, as far as, again, where's the bar carts go, because what if they just the horrible thing would have been like, what if this person hopped in the bar cart and then all of a sudden, they got to clean out the bar cart, and like, what are you doing in a bar cart? Somebody finds them. They know enough to not get found out. I don't think that the person who committed the crime against who offed Keith is the same person who killed Imogene's mother. That's a whole nother mystery. I do think Keith knew something about that, and I strongly suspect that the person who is the murderer in that case is going to be Mama Collier, the mom of the Collier family. I think she was the one who put the hit on Imogene's mother, and I think maybe Keith had some something to do with it, or found out, maybe at least at the minimum, found out something more than what he let on, which is why he has to get off, man. You can't have him around. You can't have people knowing stuff. So I don't know. There's still a lot of questions. We still got a lot of episodes left. I think this is a 10 episode series, and I like the direction that it's going. I like everything. I like everything about it. And also too, Mandy Patinkin as a detective. Let's go all the way to the bank with this. I was thinking about it, like, the way that he portrays a detective. You can't, a sleazy detective, like, you can't have him be the archetype of like a Sherlock Holmes, right? You can't have this like, sort of tall, classical British figure, who's good in combat or whatever. You can't have a like shorter, stout, bald man with a mustache. That's Hercule Poirot. So you have to find somewhere in the middle of like, and he's got a Belgian, accent. So you can't go like classical British, can't go Belgian. What can you do? And Mandy Patinkin, the way that he has this sort of grandfatherly / like Uncle Funkle sort of vibe, like, I'm with it because it's very unassuming. And even if he's like trying to press a little, it doesn't feel hyper aggressive. It just feels stern. When I said that, it reminded me of like, he's like, I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed. Like, that's sort of the tone that like he asks questions in. So it's very genius too. The relationship that him and Imogene have, and the closeness that they have, and the fact that like he's already a few steps ahead, and we are Imogene, like, right, we're barely catching up to some of the stuff that he already knew, right? Like, he already knew about the bar cart. He already knew to clear the recording of her being there. So yeah, this is very fascinating. I like the direction this is going. But write in the comments, who do you think committed both of the crimes? Do you think it was the same person? Think it's two different people? Like, let me know in the comments who your strongest suspect is at this point. And I'm sure it'll change week by week, or maybe You'll just lay your bet down and let it ride, and you'll be right. Like who knows? There's so much show that's left. So I'm super excited to see where this goes. Also, too, if there's another show that's like this, let me know in the comments. I'd love to watch it. Or if there's another movie I should watch, it's a murder mystery, let me know in the comments. You know, I love doing murder mystery breakdowns, reviews, reactions. I love all of that. Let's see if I'm right. Like I've got Mama Collier being the one who killed Imogene's mother. And if I had to make a guess right now, so far, I'm going to narrow down my suspect list. It's either the pastor's son, right, the social media kid, or it's one of the, and I don't know yet. It's still kind of a wide list, but one of the granddaughters of Grandma Chan, right? Like it's, we'll see though. We'll see. I need some more. I still need some more information, but write down any clues in the comments that you think I missed or glossed over that are super important that would point to somebody. I will say this. I think that there's more secrets that are going to point to somebody looking suspicious when they're just suspicious of holding a secret, and they're not suspicious of committing a murder. So just remember that. Remember, if somebody looks suspicious, be like, is it because they're hiding a secret, or is it because they committed the murder? And I think a lot of it, there's going to be a lot of plots and twists and, you know, money and, you know, a lot of that going on before it'd be like, but I didn't, you know, I might have embezzled some money, or I might have laundered some, but I didn't kill anybody. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But dang, that's a big crime. But also like, yeah, I guess he didn't kill anybody. I think there's going to be a lot of that. So hope y'all enjoyed this. I look forward to coming back next Tuesday and every Tuesday and recapping sort of, but also narrowing down the suspect list to see if we were right or how close we can get to solving it before they reveal it. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all can feel free to follow me on social media, Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all the places. I'll follow you back and we can chat all about murder mysteries, movies, or whatever you want to. In the meantime, though, thank y'all so much for tuning in, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon. And until next week, I will see you. Peace.